Hello everybody. So it's been a little bit of a dry spell for content on this channel. Part of the problem was that I was like just flooded with work, so I didn't have time to really make a video. But I didn't stop playing Last Epoch, and in fact, I achieved my goal. And my goal was to defeat Uber. So Uber is completed. I've defeated Uber. We're going to talk about the build that I played now in order to make it happen. So, what did I do? How did I make it happen? What's going on? I played a Lightning Blast Runemaster build. It's a build that I think a lot of people know about. Velatria set got introduced. It made me want to play it. And so this is a build based around the Velatria set Primal Ring, right? Legends Entwined. This is a build based around that item, and we're using multiple sets in order to get some bonuses from the Legends Entwined to get +2 to all skills and then +4, +5 to all attributes. So that's essentially what the build is. We're an intelligence stacking build. We're using Fragment of the Enigma. We're using Mad Alchemist Ladle to cast faster, and then we're getting our base damage from Velatrias and Fragment of the Enigma. So all in all, that's what we're doing. It's just a high level. There are people that have made really good guides, really good breakdowns of how the build works, and you guys should check it out. I'm going to talk about my journey. And basically, I started playing the build, and up till like campaign, it kind of plays the same as every other build, which is to say that it does really well, right? So campaign is kind of a breeze. And then when you get Fragment of the Enigma and you go into monoliths, that's where your build pops off, right? Because all you have to do is stack intelligence, and I went from like normal monoliths to 400 corruption empowered monoliths in like 4 hours, just purely from getting gear that had tier 7 intelligence on it and slamming it onto my build, right? And so all I did was stack intelligence. I got to like 215 at my highest, and I was sitting around 400 corruption, and that's where I had to like actually start farming out my actual gear, which was stuff like my Twisted Heart, stuff like my Unstable Core. At that time, I didn't actually know I was going to run Unstable Core. I was thinking I was going to run the Core of the Mountain, because it gives +12 to all attributes. I also wanted to run a Foot of the Mountain. I had a 3 LP, but I just missed my move speed on there, so I didn't end up running that, and I ended up just running a pair of Citadel boots instead. So, you know, this build is so strong that you don't need to slam the 3 LPs correctly. You can just run Exalts, and it's still that good, right? So it's a ranged build. It's single target. Its monolith clearing isn't that great, but I ended up pushing it to farm like 1,300 corruption, and I was farming that for a hot minute, just looking for, you know, red rings, and I didn't end up finding it, but I did eventually end up beating Uber Abra. So you're probably watching the Uber kill in the background, or you're going to start watching it pretty soon. I will say I didn't do it perfectly, but I think I did pretty well. It took me like, I think 3 days of grinding. The first 2 days, I didn't have my 2 LP Twisted Heart with 2 tier 7 slammed on it. And that is my only piece of gear that has 2 tier 7 slammed on it, and I'm so proud of that. It only took 2 tries to get it, and that was a long farm to get that item. That was a long farm. I think it took me like 3 or 4 days just for that one item. Getting 2 tier 7 Exalt items is very hard, especially in the epics that you want it. I know people have methods for farming them out, but I really wasn't hitting with my imprints, and I was farming, like I said, at 1,300 corruption for a long time. So if your goal is to just farm really hard corruption, this build is good. If your goal is to get Uber, it might take a week to get there, right? It took me maybe a week and a half of playing this build in order to beat Uber Abroth. And I'm definitely slower than a lot of other people that are playing this. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff, but it was super fun to just slowly refine on my build over and over. I didn't end up getting like the best in slot helmet. I still don't have the best in slot ring. Those are 2 areas that I can still improve my build, but otherwise it's pretty capped out. So I'm missing around 29 intelligence right now, which is a good bit of damage that is left on the table. So there is a little bit that my build can improve, and then a little bit of, you know, polishing on the Uber fight can make me a little bit stronger. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. So hope you guys enjoyed this little recap of my time with Lightning Blast Runemaster. Please check out the people linked in the description below. They have really good guides for this build, and I would be doing a disservice to give you guys a guide. So check them out. It was a super fun build to play, very good at killing Uber. There are probably some better builds. I think there's like probably an EQ build right now that can one-shot it with minions and stuff, but you know, if you want to fight Uber and you want to fight it in what I consider a fair way with like range and a lot of movement and stuff, this is a very fun fight. It's very mechanically intensive, and I had a ton of fun. So I'll see y'all later. a matter of time.